no doubt I'll have plenty to learn and explore about this camera, but we're going to give it a little test run and see how it does. And we're going to do that by doing a little walk around here. I know it's just another crappy walk around video, but we're trying to test the camera out, and I needed to bring this up. Now I know I had maybe mentioned that truck outside was going to be next, but because of all the rain, we're going to just do this one, and we'll come back to that other one. So I got this at an auction a few weeks ago, and barely got it out of there with all the rain. And this was to go along with my combine, and I didn't want a grain truck because all the insurance and registering and all that is going to be, I mean, really rough, I'm pretty sure. But it was either this or a gravity wagon, and the gravity wagons here are around $4 to $5 grand, and I just wasn't seeing that for what I wanted to do. So hopefully we're going to be able to find other things to use this for, and I'll explain why in just a minute. First, let's get under here. See how this does in low light. Looks good on the screen. Guess we'll see how it looks on the other screen. Has a 327 in it, like pretty much all these. I had the carb kind of looked through by an old timer, and it's still leaking a little bit, so I need to take it back off, let him look at it again. I like how dirty, just to test the zoom here, the bottom of that filter looks from just that gas sitting in there. That's neat. No further comment on that. Anyway, I do have it running. I did obviously some ignition system stuff. I could get used to this zoom. It's pretty slick. But I did some ignition system stuff. Pretty much rebuilt it just because I do have plugs and wires I haven't done yet. And other than the carb needing a little bit more tinkering, I think either the float's bad, or I think probably the float's bad, honestly, because it's just flooding a little bit and it's leaking out around the seal in the middle there. But it does sound really good, and this truck has, I think, 50,000 original miles. So that's probably part of why. But I do like the bed. It does dump. It's got a twin cylinder dump. It works great. I mean, it even holds overnight. The sides are removable in sections, so I'm thinking auction picking. Just take it down to either one short side or just leave these medium. Or hay, could probably put either none or a couple of those short ones on there, you know, depending on how you wanted to load. But, you know, I really like it for what it is, quite a bit. Got a metal floor instead of the wood. And I have all the pieces back here, obviously, to the back, the door and all that. You got a little ladder here. It's a 62, if I didn't mention that, C60. It's kind of unique for this area, and I think this is why it's honestly in pretty good shape. I mean, there's still quite a bit of paint on it. I'm going to see how much I can clean this up. I know a couple tricks that sometimes we may actually get paint to come back out part of this here, just a little bit. But anyway, it's kind of unique for this area because a lot of the grain trucks around here were either like route delivery trucks for like a beer company or something, where they were old road trucks. Like my Cavo or Ford is actually a grain truck. It's just in much worse shape than this, and it was a Central Freight Lines, and so I think that's why a lot of them were just wore out and rotted out and just not great. So it is a mess in here. There's still Still smells lovely like rats. And there's still lovely rat mess back there. I'm working on that. I've been kind of out and about the last couple of days. I didn't get to finish it. But what I find interesting about this is most 60s, even here, have a lot of rust problems. Now this has that little spot right there by the door. There's a tiny little patch right there, which I'd swear these in the 50s always have that above that cab. But this is not too bad there. And then it has, this up there and this here, I'm and a little bit on the inside here. This is probably the worst spot. Is that little bit right there. It's not so bad over there, but right here. And I'd be willing to bet that's from the cab lights leaking. Although this did spend probably the majority of its life inside, I bet that's from those cab lights leaking. But the floor is beautiful. I've seen it from underneath, and it is great. The frame still, frames don't really rust here, but I just thought it's still interesting that the frame has some paint on it still. But yeah, the cab even has a lot of, bottom of the door is actually not really rusted out, although it is covered in what we'll assume is rat shit. But the inside of the cab has a dome light, still a bit of paint in here, so need to get cleaned out. It has the 2 levers to dump, which I like, instead of the stupid cables that always screw up. And it has a 4-speed and a 2-speed rear. The 2-speed rear is not working right. And I'm sure it's vacuum related, because I think these are vacuum. And I'm sure that I can figure it out. But initially you would pull it and it would actually hang somewhere in between the shifting, and that was interesting. Anyway, like I was getting at, it's in pretty solid shape. It does have this beat up fender here, and that door has a dent, but it was a farm truck, so shocker, I guess. This side's pretty clean. But I think it's in such good shape because it was a grain truck since it was new. I got it from the estate, and based on the title, I'm the second owner of it. So he used it as a grain truck, I'm guessing, since it was brand new. So that means that's why it only has 50,000 miles on it, which I believe. I forgot to show over there, but that cluster's pretty clean. I don't know if there's anything in the glove box salvageable. I think it's kind of collapsing there. I'm sure it's just full of a rat nest, but I'm curious to see if there's any papers salvageable in there. The fuel line has what was the fuel line had all these clothespins on it, and I was told that was something to do with trying to help with vapor lock. And in the corner here, I found this is some kind of leather compound or something, from what I understand. And I scratched it out and I put brake fluid, so you know what that means. And then I just noticed this in the corner the other day. Some kind of, as I drop it and break it on the ground, some kind of bottle, almost to me looks like maybe it was some sort of condiment bottle or something. But some kind of mystery liquid in it. It almost looks like old gas or something. I haven't been brave enough to open it yet, and I've kind of just put it back there where it was. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's something. There's the shift thing. Oh, I should show those things on the other side here. I'm liking how this camera handles so far. We'll see how I like the video. But also, it was last registered in 01 and last inspected in 98, I'm assuming. Of course, that was back when you could do those separately. Here's the mileage, because I know somebody's not going to believe that. And it's just hard to explain. If you could drive this thing around and explore it and stuff, you would probably believe it more like I do. But also up here, the little granary clip things. But yeah, it's something, and I really like it, and it's been kind of popular. Just on my Facebook, just pictures of it. So we're gonna get videos of it soon. I'm gonna get that car back off and go get that looked at, and we'll go from there. But anyway, in the meantime, thanks for watching, and until next time.